This exact moment, leaving the Somniel after Chapter 6, is the root of a near-infinite tree of decisions that sprawls out for the rest of the game. It's a literal fork in the road. Engage is fundamentally a game of allocating scarce resources. We have our choice of 3 maps to play right now, and each map has recruits that want more time to train, but we can only play one at a time. On those maps, every unit wants their share of a finite pool of XP, but some will inevitably be left in the dust. Mercurius and Micaiah, ways to help our units catch up, are limited to 1 unit per map. For good measure, we'll now see deployment limits below our total headcount. A few units have to sit on the bench. Part of what makes Engage endlessly replayable is exploring that tree. There's no best path. Don't let anyone, including me, make your choices for you. I'll still be showing a template you can fill in, but do personalize it for your goals. Because this is the first time I'm hoping you make different choices, I do want to give some advice on how I make decisions that lead to campaigns I enjoy playing. Perhaps the most important choice is who you train. I'm giving each unit their own in-depth analysis, so if you watch those, you'll have more than enough info to pick a team. That leaves the where, how many, and when of training. Where should you go after Chapter 6? How many units should you be training? When should you train individual units? First, where do we go from Chapter 6? I'll assume you're playing both Anna's and Jean's paralogs. In terms of minimum turns to beat the game, neither is optimal, but in any other context, they're fun maps with good rewards. Chapter 6 gives us Micaiah, so even though you can play Jean's paralog before that map, I would strongly advise against it. The Ancient Well also opens then, so by doing it early, you deny yourself a map's worth of loot. After Chapter 6, you have a lot of options. The most important question is whether you want to use Anna or Jean. If you want to train them, they're projects that you want to get started on ASAP. Assuming you don't care about the unit you're getting, I still generally wouldn't delay either paralog beyond Chapter 6. Engage's XP formula on Maddening gives higher level units essentially nothing for low level combat. Doing Jean's paralog and then Anna's makes a lot of sense if you don't care about either unit and just want extra training for someone currently on the team. No one we're getting in Chapter 8 wants to train on these maps unless they're using Micaiah. That exception, Micaiah, is the best reason to delay. Let's say you want to train Physical Clan, starting when you get second seals after Chapter 8. You'll need 900 XP for him to promote after the second seal, and by then it's a lot harder to drag training projects around. If he gets a paralog or 2 with Micaiah, he can promote mostly on schedule. I'm training both Anna and Jean, which I wouldn't necessarily recommend, but keeps things interesting. There's only one Micaiah, and I'm not training either without her help. Micaiah can do more in Anna's paralog, so it generally makes sense to recruit Jean first, train him in Anna's paralog, and then focus on getting Anna to promotion in Chapters 7 and 8. Then you'll just have 1 training project instead of 2. Instead, I'm training Physical Jean, so he needs to wait until the second steal to even start training. That means I want to get Anna first, so she can train in Jean's paralog. Alright, that's the where. Now, how many units should we be trying to train for the long haul? When I'm thinking through an Engage team, I plan for 12 long-term roster spots. A few endgame maps have more deployments, but I generally recommend using late recruits to fill those, so you don't have to spend time training a unit just to bench them until the very end of the game. 12 units is roughly a third of the entire cast, and that's a good way to think about it. Every time a map gives you a set of 3 recruits, which happens quite often because each royal has 2 retainers, aim to average roughly 1 long-term roster spot from those 3. That's my suggested upper limit. I don't find it much fun to train up 20 units if I can only field half of them at a time. There are good reasons to use fewer than 12. Consider Chapter 7. There we'll get 3 level 10 recruits. They stand a good chance of being the 3 highest level units in your army, and even if not, they're certainly better than your 3 worst deployments. That's an extreme example. Chapters 8 and 9 have level 10 recruits too, but new recruits are often high level. If you keep 5 or 6 units permanently deployed and fill the other spots with temp workers, you'll have an overleveled core of units that can do most of the work more easily than 12 middling units could. All things considered, I generally cast 5 to 12 units in big roles. Fewer is generally easier, but like many people, I get attached to units. I'm not role-playing a private equity firm gutting personnel. In this run, I'll aim for a large, balanced team. Now, when should we be training everyone? It's tempting to train everyone in lockstep, trying to keep everyone at the same level each map. I found that Engage became much easier and more enjoyable after I stopped trying to split each map's XP evenly, and I'd recommend you do the same. The main reason to train unevenly is the emblems. If you want to train Alear and Chloé in Chapter 6 and 7, having Alear pop off with Marth in Chapter 6 and then giving Marth to Chloé for Chapter 7 while Alear sits back will mean you have fewer combats without Marth's boosts, which makes things a lot easier. As a cherry on top, with Mercurius, both Alear and Chloé will get more training than if they had split each map 50-50. If you want a specific roster, you need to be intentional about training to get there. In Engage, almost no one stays competent without your attention. If you want to use someone, make a point of training them. Each map, think about who's suited to training and who might take it easy. Don't feel the need to funnel every single kill into a unit, but if you autopilot and spread training too evenly, it can lead to problems down the line. Consider Boucheron as a cautionary tale. I've used him more than I thought I would, to be honest, and he's seen a lot of combat. He's never gotten an emblem, so he's never been able to grab a ton of kills or gain bond rank, but you might expect he'd stay relevant for a half dozen more maps, even as I'm using him now. That's not the case. In Chapter 7, a new backup unit will join, at level 10. Our Boucheron would be lucky if he had a single stat lead over her. In the subsequent maps, units join who outclass her the way she outclasses Boucheron. That's fine by me. Boucheron's not here for the long haul. If you're horrified by the thought of your favorite unit becoming bad, you need to start the Boucheron training montage now. If you give him Mercurius, he can get a lot of boosted kills and really catch up. A few maps of that and a promotion will get him to the point his growth can start to kick in, and then he'll differentiate himself from his competition. The vast majority of units don't become great on their own, you make them great. You can try out new recruits for a few maps, but at some point you need to either make them great or plan for their replacement. Alright, with that out of the way, we're going to Anna's map, as I said.
You still haven't found her?
Sorry, boss. The thief was too quick for us. We lost track of where she went.
We're supposed to be the thieves, you bums. We steal, we don't get stolen from. Well, she can't have left this fortress yet. Go catch her, no excuses.
Yes, boss.
Boss, bad news.
Am I about to hear an excuse?
There's a tough-looking bunch headed right for us. They're armed, too.
Typical. How much worse can today get? Whatever. This won't stop us either. Battle squads in position and ready to move. I want our thieves in the treasury now. Once the treasure is secure, get to a safe place.
Got it, boss.
A whole room full of treasure! I'm sure no one will mind if I help myself. Hey, is someone talking? Sounds panicked, whoever they are.
Move your butts and get in position.
Is there about to be a fight? Oh, I'd better find some place to hide. I guess this is my best option.
Can you believe the luck we're having today?
Less talking, more stalking. Make sure your gear is ready before things kick off.
Uh-oh. This is way too many bandits to make a clean getaway.
The townsfolk told us about a bandit base. And I'd say we found it. I feel sorry for all those poor villagers who had their valuables stolen. Precious keepsakes, family heirlooms. Let's see if we can put them back in the right hands. Though, it looks like we're in for a fight before that can happen.
Alright, let's get ourselves an Anna. What am I doing with my army? Well, my two Play Micaiah partners are currently chilling in a different map and inside a treasure chest, so Micaiah's a free agent. Because I'm expecting you to be on a different branch of the big tree of Engage decisions. I'm not routing in a specific Micaiah user. Maybe you're coming here after Sean's map and training him. Maybe you're getting Eddie caught up. Maybe you don't care about any of these scrubs except Alear and want to get them overleveled. How can I make sure my clear works for you? My solution is to pick the future benchwarmer I like the most and give them Micaiah. That's Clan because I think he's a sweetheart. I've unequipped his tomes, so he's totally interchangeable with whoever you're training. To be clear, if you're not recording a series and you're in my position, definitely give Micaiah to someone you actually plan to keep on the team. That opens doors in future maps that I won't have, but that's the idea. I don't want my Chapter 7 clear to rely on some XP target Alear would need Micaiah for. Instead of focusing on Micaiah XP, I'm instead going to focus on funneling Mercurius boosted XP into a unit I want to promote after this map. That lucky duck is Céline. She's a good stand-in for someone like Boucheron, who's capable enough to train with Marth and doesn't necessarily need Micaiah. I'll discuss how to think about promotion next map when we can actually put it into practice. So, what have we got in store? This map is literally centered around the treasure chest, the coveted Master Seal, a strength tonic, and Anna herself hiding away. When she's uncovered, she'll beeline to Alear as a green unit, and Alear can recruit her by talking. She'll also recruit herself after the chapter if you don't recruit her and she survives the map. There are two thieves who single-mindedly pursue the chests and then flee. You can kill them to take their stuff after they open the chests, but they won't stop to fight your units. They're a real threat to run away with the Master Seal or get Anna killed if you let them. The boss herself is in the other direction, which divides our attention. We'll beat the right thief to the Master Seal by warping into the middle with Celica turn 1. There's only 2 enemies here. The other thief will get the strength tonic, which we could easily do without, and get Anna uncovered for us. That's 2 actions we don't need to spend. Our Sigurd user can help us clean up after that thief's done thieving, and we'll have 1 straggler help with that. Everyone else can go straight to the boss at their own pace. The boss is a handful, especially flanked by 2 reinforcements who spawn as she aggros, but we'll finish the map on the turn she starts moving. If you're playing with the DLC, you just got the 3 houses ring from the Somniel. I'm keeping them in storage so non-DLC players can follow along, and their analysis will wait until they see the field, but you should definitely start using them now. The gist of my future analysis is that they're able to carry physical units the way Marth does, and as such they're a way of playing favorites. Give them to a physical unit you like and want to see living their best life. We are not giving an Alear an emblem this map. As I said all the way back in Chapter 1, I think many people overly fixate on Alear's combat. Instead of an emblem, she has the Spur attack ring, stacking with Divinely Inspiring for +5 damage to adjacent allies. That's irreplaceable. We have no way to stack +5 damage without her, much less on top of her other adjacency bonuses. In a classic Fire Emblem paradox, combat Alear struggles in part because Alear can't support them. Assuming we position properly, our Céline has a functional +3 strength and magic and +1 defense and resistance that Alear doesn't. By hogging Mercurius, Alear's built a sizable XP and SP lead, and we'd use that SP lead to inherit Canter quite early. That pairs nicely with her adjacency bonuses, and we've given her the Levin sword to maximize her mobility here. She may not be the star of this clear, but we couldn't do it without her. I think that's enough pontification, right? Let's go. I'll start with who I'll call Team Chloé, for reasons that will become apparent. We have 3 attacks to take out the sword fighter, and Alfred goes first to support Boucheron on the shakier attack.
Point the way again. Here.
That isn't good enough, so we rewind and insert a guaranteed hit, hence the move order.
Let's go! Quick change!
That guaranteed hit comes from Yunaka, sporting surprisingly good magic using Warp Ragnarok. She can double in 1 round the armor with Seraphim equipped, so we attack the other unit to prevent them from chain guarding.
My apologies.
Now Boucheron's ready to hit. Thank you. And
I'm
Chloé
listening.
finishes the job.
I'll take this.
And they lived happily ever after.
She Canter should get hit by thunder for Micaiah XP. On the other side, Alear weakens the Axe Fighter at 2 reigns, so she can retreat to safety. This position prevents both fighters from attacking her, so
Understood.
Louis ensures the other one moves deterministically. Céline simply waits. The thieves will show their full attack range, but don't worry, they won't attack you.
The divine dragon looked right at me.
Allow your soul the rest it deserves.
Alfred tries to get himself weakened. To no avail. On my practice run, Chloé didn't get hit from thunder, so now I have to remember what I was supposed to do.
Let's be careful.
Clan's supposed to get a double mend here, but Alfred couldn't make that happen. Or rather, the fighter who was supposed to attack Alfred. Céline shows off a Lodestar Rush. The Mercurius Gravy train is leaving the station. She needs over 200 XP on this map.
My prayers are with you. I live to fight again.
This maneuver works because I know where the Axe Fighters end up this turn. Alear barely gets the kill and canters up in range of the Sword Fighter.
I won't forget you.
She'd be doubled and killed by them, so Louis protects her flank and trades her a lighter weapon. Céline can handle 1 unit on enemy phase, but not 2. Yunaka picks up the Master Seal. Unlike previous games, it goes straight to the convoy and can't be used in battle.
My heroic friends.
I won't falter.
Alear shows off! I'm so glad that didn't steal Celine's kill. I ponder how to adjust for my good fortune.
Stay strong.
I live to fight again.
Boucheron should probably use Noah Tune instead of a hand axe here. Better lucky than good, am I right?
I have to fight.
Clan gets a big heal. Now Yunaka can one-round the Arbor Knight from behind. Very sneaky. We gave her Resonance specifically so she could be reliably damaged. With the +4 Might we gave Seraphim and our +1 Magic Meal, she would get the kill without it.
Let's go! Emblem Engage!
Chloé can jump this archer, who says bow speed flyers.
If this love is a crime,
She canters to block off the Thunder Mage. I'm just not a Louis guy, but I owe him an apology. I originally benched him for Vander here, but as it turns out, on this map I really do need his defense. The way I'm using Mercurius here is a good template for your own training. Durable units can just equip Mercurius and say, "Come at me, bro." But Céline can't. She'd die from any two enemies. Non-lethal combat gives little XP, so our main concern is getting a kill per turn on player phase, at least one enemy phase kill, and maybe two if you heal between them. Etier would want to do something similar.
My heroic friends.
I can fight.
Alear weakens the armor for Céline. This is the kind of thing you can adjust for with meals and forges. I forged Boucheron's hand axe, not that it helped him hit, but you can in theory do something else. It might seem weak to canter southeast instead of due east, but Anna's racing towards Alear. If her closest path went straight into the enemies, it would not end well. You don't have to let the sword fighter reach the pillar. But hey, if you hit 47s, it doesn't matter. Note how Boucheron gets 2 HP. That's what happens when you have growth at 100%. You get a guaranteed point, subtract 100% from your growth, and then roll for an extra point. With Boucheron's XP working out so cleanly, I realize Alfred should be at 1 range.
Is it my turn?
Chloé overrides. I like having the enemy on a pillar to make this override meaningful. 100 hit.
time? One strike will decide it all.
Yunaka can finish off the healer she weakened on turn 1. We've set things up for a perfect mend. The bod fragments I spent on resonance were totally worth it. I won't pretend I'd planned Butron's XP cleanly enough for him to level HP as necessary here, but I'm not complaining. He always gets at least 1 HP, so if you do time his levels, it helps Micaiah. This is Clan's peak this run, I'm sorry to say. At least he's getting some XP as a severance package.
Did that treasure chest just move? So that's where the thief went.
Ah! I've been found out!
It won't open! Hey, thief. Let go of the lid. Don't make me work up a sweat.
Dang! Found me. Only one thing to do now if I want to get out of this. Time to show my skills!
There was a child in there? We have to hurry and rescue her from these bandits!
I love the line reads in this chapter. Our pure-hearted Alear is just so shocked there's a girl inside a treasure chest inside a bandit camp, and who can blame her?
I live to fight again.
That 57% needs to hit, making that reliable is left as an exercise to the reader. Louis and Alear don't have anything to do. They don't want to fight the mage, who will come to us when the group is aggroed.
I will not be cut down.
Céline uses favorite food to get Marth back. That's why she needs to take damage. I wish they made it so you could use meals at full HP. In the thicket, Yunaka gets this group of enemies moving.
For you, anything.
I'm here, Divine One.
We don't want the Armored Knight blocking our energy tile to attack Yunaka, so Clan blocks it off.
What a lovely scene!
Yunaka shines here. Few units can handle both foes at once. Céline wants us kill, but Chloé needs to move in from Canter first. Chloé's World Tour takes her all the way to this energy tile. If you don't want to bother with favorite food, Céline could use the tile, but the way things work out, it's convenient to have her use Mercurius here.
Yes. Please grant me your strength. My heroic friends.
Okay, so Alfred needs to clean up the thief, but he missed. I should have dealt more damage with Chloé earlier to give him more options. The Thunder Mage can't two-shot him, so as long as he avoids getting hit by the thief, he'll be fine.
I'm happy to help. Serves you right.
Ushan equips a hammer and waits for enemy phase. Yunaka attacks to refill her engage meter. 0 damage and 0 hits still count as attacks.
I'll take this.
Clan recharges and heals Yunaka. I'm not spending a men for 5 more XP, but you may want to. We want to set up a Mercurius kill here. Alear attacks first and then canters. She'll support Yunaka, who's baiting the boss. The goal is basically to get a Mercurius kill and set up Micaiah healing.
Emblem Engage!
I've got to hang on.
This is nothing.
Friendly Inspiring is helpful as usual for this. You can probably set this up so that Clan gets a perfect mend.
I live to fight again.
Emblem Engage! Is it my turn?
I totally didn't forget about Alfred. He finishes off the Thunder Mage. The Thunder Mage normally gets killed first. Because I wanted to set up the clan mend, he had a valid target that turn and didn't come towards us.
You were a good fight.
Damn you for playing us for fools. You'll never get your hands on that treasure. Yeah.
You can use Seraphim here, which does more damage, but the poison stack is useful too. With the DLC, I like to try and route the map, but without 3 houses, it requires slowing down considerably. We're just concerned with the boss. We want Céline to get this kill on the first HP bar. When you're trying to hit a tight XP threshold, it's nice to get a chance to do it over if you miscalculated. If the Céline kill ended the map, we wouldn't have any ability to reroute if needed.
Need some help?
I must end you. My heroic friends.
That's what we like to see. Mercurius is no joke.
I'm listening.
Now we're setting up another kill. Both our engage attacks are totally consistent and don't let Meton attack. We set things up to leave Meton very weak. With momentum and divinely inspiring, you can easily set this up to have Chloé or Yunaka get the kill. I had a different idea while doing my practice run.
It's over. Here I come! On guard!
By any means necessary. Here I go!
What's a little girl doing here? This is a bandit fort. It's no place for children.
But you're not a bandit, right? So why don't you keep me safe?
Well, I mean, I could, but
It's a deal. Thanks a million. You might not think so, but I'm pretty handy in a fight. Let me help you help me.
Welcome to the team, Anna. You can trade her an accurate axe after recruiting her, which I wasn't sure you could do. It's kind of awkward if Anna doesn't get discussed in her own join map, right? Recruiting her now keeps things organized. Might be anticlimactic to pause right before the finishing blow for a long analysis, but Anna deserves the spotlight. Anna echoes a lineage of Fire Emblem units I'll call villagers. Units who join underleveled and unimpressive, but stand to improve quickly with training. Jean is the direct successor to previous villagers. Think of Anna as an alternate take on the concept. She has glorious 50-50-50 magic dex speed growths, more or less the best in the game in those stats. The catch is that, to use those growths, we need to get her into a promoted magic class from level 5 in a physical class. On maddening, you'll need the patience of a saint to get her 500 XP 1 kill at a time in Axe Fighter. Second sailing to Mage after Chapter 5 makes things easier, but then you need 9 levels and not 5. That's still a lot of work. Lucky for Anna, we have an emblem who specializes in giving any unit metric tons of XP. All Anna needs is 2 maps of reasonably planned Micaiah, and she'll be level 10. Then, after Chapter 8, you can use a Master Seal to promote and a second seal to reclass into Mage Knight. Micaiahs don't grow on trees, and neither do seals. What I'm proposing is still a huge amount of investment. What's the return? We haven't seen a truly great unit yet, so it's hard to even imagine what a great unit can do. Let me paint you a picture. If our Alear dueled a random foe from Anna's Paralog in the arena, without emblems or bonuses, they'd probably lose. We're also hopelessly outnumbered. How then are we even getting by? The core player advantage in Fire Emblem is that we're a much better commander than the enemy AI. Our foes could all rush us and we'd be toast. Instead, they graciously let us divide and conquer. If we need a 2-on-1 advantage, 6 of our units can fight trio after trio and slowly defeat a superior force. Slowly is the key word. A map with 50 enemies takes ages to beat 3 at a time. For now, the only thing at risk is style points, but eventually dawdling starts to have serious consequences. Engage loves to put reinforcements behind you, sometimes in an infinite supply, to make sure you keep moving forward. Getting sandwiched while we nervously do arithmetic to put together kills does not feel like expertly enjoying Engage. How can we get a stronger team by the time that would happen? One option is to keep the same basic approach but just upgrade our offense. If our units like Etier could consistently one-round an opponent on our turn, a group of 6 allies could take on 6 enemies instead of 3. 1 or 2 durable units to bait foes forward and a bunch of glass cannons to ambush them is a lot faster than what we're doing, and many more formations can be rushed without even letting them move. Anna slots into this player phase role perfectly because she has so much firepower. Tomes let her avoid counters, mitigating her poor bulk. With Canter and 6 movement and Mage Knight, Anna can aim to one-round an enemy and retreat to safety each turn. She's easy to fit on a team this way. You need a few bulky units to take hits, but you can easily have 6 or 7 glass cannons like Anna without any problems. This upgraded divide and conquer approach is close to how my first Maddening run went, and I did alright. That's not to say it's easy. Engage throws a lot of curveballs as the game goes on. Open fields with lots of enemies make it hard to find any islands of safety for frail units. Enemy flyers with high movement similarly make it tough to keep anyone safe. Some maps make us fight in multiple directions at once. Some late game maps have so many enemies that even a kill per unit per turn isn't fast enough to avoid getting swarmed. None of those are unsolvable problems with clever positioning and emblem use, but they are problems. How can we do better? Well, what if we could fight on enemy phase? That breaks the 1 kill per unit per turn cap. On enemy phase, a single unit can defeat any number of enemies in 1 turn. It's obviously not that simple. Enemy phase combat is a tall order. First, you now have to survive at least 1 hit from each foe, because they'll normally strike first. Second, the enemies pick who to target. The AI won't be sporting enough to attack Louis with an archer and Chloé with a mage instead of the reverse. 3, you lose access to a whole host of player phase only skills and boosts, breaks, momentum, brave weapons, etc. With Lucina's bondage shield, we can essentially give a unit infinite bulk for a few turns. Even without Lucina, we can often just barely get frail units like Anna through an enemy phase with the right emblems and support, at least enough to deal with a few enemies we won't need to worry about on our turn. That just leaves the offense. An ideal enemy phase unit doesn't rely on any player phase effects, won't be broken often, and can deal with most opponents without relying on effective damage or similar conditional bonuses. The very best physical units can meet those criteria, but it's an uphill battle. Swords don't have physical 1-2 range, so they're quite limited. Hand axes and javelins aren't ideal either, and you still face many enemies that break you. Daggers fix both issues. It's quite rare to see enemy arts users who break you, but then you run into the second problem, enemy defense stats. I could give Yunaka 20 levels, and she still wouldn't one-round armors with her dagger. There aren't many enemies who have such lopsided bulk in the other direction. The ideal enemy phase unit is a powerful mage who doubles. That's Anna's whole thing. Especially with Bondage Shield, Anna goes from getting 1 kill a turn to massacring entire swaths of a map in 1 enemy phase. Even just a few turns dealing with 6 or 7 enemies each gives you some much needed breathing room. We'll have to hold Anna back for most of the game. On one planning run, she ended up getting so much experience that she stunted other units' growth. After Anna's in Mage Knight and you have Lucina, spamming Bondage Shield with her is easy enough I have to actively restrain myself. 2 Mouse and Micaiah and 2 Seals doesn't sound like such a bad investment for that, does it? Well, why Anna, and not a different mage with a better start? For one, Anna's stats really are exceptional, and every point matters. Getting enough magic and speed to one-run enemies does not leave much margin. Clan's not going to get enough magic, Anna's best competition comes later in the game. Compared to them, Anna's advantage is early Canter or other useful skills. There's also her personal skill, Make a Killing. What better skill to have on someone who can wipe out entire armies, right? Well, considering you need about 100 kills to recoup your initial investment of seals, I wouldn't pin your hopes on it. Grinding reinforcements can be very lucrative, but I'm not really analyzing units in that context. As far as builds, I'd argue for Mage Knight as our best class, high movement, good stats, and easy bondage shield synergies. She's not picky about emblems, any magic or speed boost helps. Sage adds player phase utility with stays and has mystical synergies, which may make sense on some teams. High Priest maximizes make a killing, which is funny but suboptimal. Anna's one of the best Levin-sorted magic weapon users in something like Bow Knight, which is a bit like saying I'm great at falling downstairs. Might be fun to watch, but I wouldn't want to make a habit of it. So Anna's surprisingly easy to train quickly if you grant her Micaiah maps. Beyond her excellent player phase, when unleashed on enemy phase, she's able to change the way we approach maps in a way most units can't, even with heavy investment. What does that mean for you? The faster you play, the harder Anna is to train, and the better you utilize Micaiah, the easier her training is. A trained Anna thrives at any pace of play, so no worries there. The only playthroughs for which I would caution against Anna are the very fastest runs, you shouldn't even play her paralog if you want to minimize turn count, and runs where you want to play quickly but aren't willing to work around Micaiah even a little. In other contexts, Anna can thrive on most teams, and she's simply one of the best units you can get. Anna epitomizes Engage's metagame. She's a villager who can promote in 2 maps without a single kill thanks to Micaiah. She can inherit early Canter to get an edge over the overtuned pre-promotes who join later. She's a glass cannon in a game where you don't need bulk to be a good enemy phase unit. She's a powerful mage in a game where that's better than strength. One-dimensional rankings of Engage units are hopelessly reductive, but if I had to rank Anna, I'd put her in the same tier as Chloé, above everyone else we've seen so far. If I can be totally honest, a major goal in this run is to show how powerful Anna is when you take her seriously. The history of villagers, and of Anna's sisters in other games, is bad enough that I've seen too many people just disregard her completely. That's reinforced by the community's overeager generalization from the low turn count metagame to other paces of play. We'll get plenty of opportunity to see what the haters are missing out on. Anna can hit her goals without this XP, but Chloé and Yunaka have had enough fun, don't you think? Besides, even if you played this map a few times, you may have never been reckless enough to see this dialogue.
Well, well, well. So the thief turned out to be just some brat. What do you say, boys? I bet we could get a pretty penny in ransom out of her parents.
My parents have no idea where I am, so that's a pretty weak threat if you ask me.
Yeah, well, I didn't ask you. Figure that out later.
Let me help!
Ugh! I guess today could get worse after all.
Leave it to Anna the Capitalist to steal the XP from Boucheron's labor. That was a lot of training. It's nice to have a few maps like this, where we can train up at a more leisurely pace.
Here's hoping the local authorities will keep these bandits from causing any more trouble.
You guys are really strong, huh? Do you have room on your team for me?
You want to join us? I should warn you. Our battles will be much more grueling than that. You'd be placing yourself in danger.
I know I'm small, but I pack a punch. I can take care of myself, guaranteed. Besides, I've got nothing better to do. Not until I figure out where my family went.
You lost your family.
It gets lonely on the road. Maybe if I travel with you folks, our paths will cross someday.
Well, if that's what you want, I have no objections. I'm the Divine Dragon. Looking forward to working with you.
Hang on, what? You're the Divine Dragon? My sails, they're gonna go through the roof! Oh, and the name's Anna, but you can call me Lady Anna. Pleasure to be in business with you. Thanks.
Make sure to adopt a dog here. For anyone new to Fire Emblem, Anna's a recurring character. She did tutorials for 2 games, but in most she runs a secret shop, and recently she's been recruitable. In the lore, those adult Annas are this Anna's sisters, which I think is a hilarious explanation. In the last couple games she was DLC, and her character never evolved much past shopkeep who likes money. It's extra tiresome when she's paywalled. Engage makes her a second villager, which is awesome, and for whatever reason, I think her character works much better as a kid. Didn't we all have a lemonade stand phase growing up? Next time, we'll meet the other villager, promote a unit, and the Anna training arc will begin. Bye-bye.